Hi, my name is Indira. I've taken up Noflo as my tutorial topic for the project under CS6320 course. So let me go through the tutorial that I've prepared. Uh, this tutorial talks about what is flow-based programming and what is Noflo and how to install Noflo in a Windows operating system and some examples on Noflo and the references I've used in making this tutorial. First, let me go through the references that I've made, that I've used to prepare my tutorial. I've used noflojs.org, which is an official website. This official website, the major contribution comes from Henry Bergius, who is the author of the Noflo programming, Noflo project, and I've used J. Paul Morrison's morrison.com/fbp, which is a original blog written by Morrison. He's the person who introduced the term flow-based programming to the entire world in his book titled Flow-Based Programming, A New Approach to the Application Development. So let me first start with flow-based programming. What is flow-based programming? In short, flow-based programming is a programming paradigm in computer programming, similar to object-oriented programming. But the main difference is flow-based programming is a kind of data flow programming, and it is usually diagrammatic. It is in picture form, so it is basically called as a visual programming language. However, this is not a new idea. We see this kind of data flow programming in our enterprise applications, in business workflows. And flow-based programming views an application as a sequential process. Does not view the application as sequential process, because it treats the application as a connection of all process communicating through some messages, or here in flow-based programming terms it's called information packets. So this makes easy for the developer. Developer need not have to worry on the sequence of the events that he has to generate. He should only focus on the maintainability and the better performing systems. Now let's see what is Noflo programming. Noflo is a project started by Henry Bergius in 2012. So it is just a new project recently created. It tries to implement all the flow-based programming concepts. Here we come across Noflo UI, which is used as a graphics tool. Since flow-based programming is represented graphically, Noflo UI is used here. And recently they have come up with an web-based IDE which is called FlowHub. I'll show you how to use FlowHub shortly. FlowHub is a web-based IDE for flow-based programming. So here we can develop all the Noflo applications that we can work on. What is Noflo? Noflo is written in CoffeeScript, but it is a JavaScript implementation of flow-based programming. So Noflo tries to implement all the flow-based programming concepts, so making it available to the Node.js applications. It actually separates the software logic from the actual flow of the software. That is, the programmer need not have to concentrate on the sequence of the steps to be generated. He can just concentrate on the actual logic of the program. And it also makes Noflo makes helps developers to organize large applications easier than object-oriented programming. So the features when compared to flow-based programming, since I've mentioned NoFlow implements only few concepts of FBP, which is flow-based programming. The concepts that are missing in NoFlow are collate and information packet lifetimes. What is collate? Collate requires a process to be specific about which port it wants to receive from, and to be able to suspend until data arrives at that port. So this concept is missing in NoFlow. It does not guarantee the port to be used. And the second important concept of flow-based programming is lifetime of the information packet that is communicated between the components. Now let me talk about how to install NoFlow in Windows operating system. I have a Windows operating system, so I have installed NoFlow in my Windows system. So these are the steps that I followed to create this Windows. Before proceeding to install NoFlow, we should have Node.js in our system. So I just followed the instructions in this website, how to create a Node.js, install Node.js in my system. So I have verified how to whether Node.js is installed in my system by running npm space -p, which gives me the actual version of the package manager for the Node.js. And then I have created a sample application, so for which all the files related to my application, I mean all the components that are required should be I wanted them to be present in my application folder. So I've created this folder and checked into this, got into this folder, and then I have before installing NoFlow, I have to create one file named package.jsn, which contains the details of my application. What is my application name? Okay, and then I install NoFlow in this folder by running npm install NoFlow, and then I verified whether NoFlow is running using NoFlow -h, which gives me the if my NoFlow is installed. And then to create to get all the components required for my application, I had to install npm install NoFlow file system, and verified whether all the components are present by running NoFlow list. So let me go through the file system that I've installed. So it got installed in my all the node modules are installed. NoFlow is installed, and when I go through, I have a graphs. I've created some applications in my graphs folder. These are multiply and show contents. Let me go through each example. This would give a sample test cases for how whether a NodeFlow is installed in my system. So for this to run, I have a Node.js command prompt, and when I say NoFlow graphs multiply, since I have multiply.fpp file. Now after installing NoFlow in my application, when I run, as you can see, NoFlow space graphs, I have multiply.fbp in my graphs folder. So when I say NoFlow run my multiply folder, it gave me a result with 12 as the result. Let me show you what is the contents of the multiply.fbp file. This file multiplies the values 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are the inputs, and multiplicand is the component that I have in my graph. So multiplicand will take the input 3 and use the multiply library in Node.js, and multiplier will take the input 4 as its input and uses a multiply library. So my actual result should be displayed with core output is my component. So math multiply will calculate multiply the values 3 and 4 and sends it as an input to display output core output folder component. So that's how I got the result as 12 in my when I run an application. So this is completely a command prompt. So let me show you how to create this kind of graph and components through a user interface IDE. A flow based I'm using FlowHub, which is an browser based IDE created recently by the Noflo project team. So this is the these are the steps that I've used. This is a Noflo example. So I've used FlowHub as my IDE for this, and I followed some instructions. I just browsed appflowhub.io and then created a project named Hello Indira, and then I've created there would be a search box where I can search the components. I'm searching for the alert component here, and then I searched for the repeat component. So my graph would have core repeat and prompts alert as the two components in my graph. And now I made a connection between these two components, and the output of repeat would go to the input of the alert component. So and what would be the input? Now let me go through the live demo of my Hello World example that I've created using a FlowHub IDE. So these are the components that I've made: core repeat and prompts alert. And core repeat has the input hi Indira as a string, and this is passed as this packet is passed forward to the alert component, and the alert component should give us an alert message with a string hi Indira. So when I say the program that is not started, when I say play, it would give me an alert message with hi Indira as a string. So this is a sample first example that I've created, and let me go through another application that I've created in FlowHub API. So I logged into FlowHub and then created this server based example. So this example will have some multiple of components. I have a server which listens to a port address, and then it passes that output to the match component. The match components would search for the index. It would check if the actual URL request has index.html in its URI path. So once it matches, it goes to this Hello Indira index component, and if it does not find, it would give an error. It goes to the not found component, and this would give a message send not found as its message to the user. So in this I've created a server component which listens to the port, as you can see here, and then this passes it to the match component. Match component would verify whether it has URI index URI in its request, and if it found, it passes it to the index component, and this index component would read the content from read index file, the input file, and passes on this file to the user as a reply to the request that he has made on the URI. So this is a server based application that I've created using the FlowHub, which is an IDE for Noflo. So let's go back to so these are the examples that I've created. And now let me walk through one more example that I've created. The example is show contents .fbp file. This I've created from my command prompt. This file would actually read this program will actually read a file named package.jsn and read all the contents from this package.jsn file and sends it. The output of is sent into the display core output component as its input, and this output component would actually display the contents of the package.jsn file. So let me show you what this package.jsn file contains. Let me open up a package.jsn file. Let me open through. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, so this package.jsn file actually contains for application name. This is a sample application that I've created, and the actual version is the initial version, so it was HSS1, and the dependencies are the Noflo version is this, and the Noflo core library is this one, and the file system library version is this, and the math one. Okay, this is the content of my package.jsn file. So when I run the application show contents.fpp file, which reads the contents of this package.jsn file as an input, and then it passes on to the read file component, and this read file component would pass on the result of the entire file as its output to the this core output component. This core output component would actually display the contents of this file. So when I go to my command prompt and say noflo space graphs, show contents.fpp file is in graphs folder. So when I say noflo show contents.fpp, it has to show me the content of the package.jsn file. So hope you understood my tutorial. So I have used I've created some two examples, show contents.fpp and multiply.fpp from the command prompt, and tried to demonstrate hello world programming through FlowHub IDE, and also created the graph for the server based program, which would verify whether the user has created whether user has requested index.html file or not. So that validation is done through the server side programming, and I've tried to create a graph for it and try to explain all that possible. So this is my understanding on Noflo, and I would try to update tutorial as and when I make progress in my understanding. Hope you understood my tutorial. Thanks for watching it. Thank you.